instant gratification, especially in today's age where people have a long time or hard time seeing the long-term benefits. So
Hmm.
if they don't see instant benefits right now, they will perceive the work it takes to get that thing as much higher, even though it might be a lot better in the long run for them.
Exactly. And that's why I'm a very big fan of using instant gratification for our benefit rather than our detriment. Because we need, as far as that cost to benefit ratio, I'm all about let's get as many benefits as you can. Let's get as much out of this as possible. Now, a lot of times we get fixated on, yeah, I want to lose weight. And yeah, I want to build muscle and whatnot. It's like, okay, very good. Yeah, those are good things. But let's get so much more out of it. How much more can we get out of it? So, for example, if you hate going to the gym and you're like, it's the worst place for me, I hate going to it, that's a very high perceived cost, right? To the benefit. But if you're like, dude, I love going to the gym, oh, there's no better place. Well, that's a perceived benefit.
Hmm.
So you're using it to your advantage. And that's why when we get down to what we want and understanding the fundamentals in getting what we want, we have the freedom to choose the methods at will. So if you came to me and you're like, I hate going to the gym, it's the worst place for, I don't ever want to go there, but I love going outside. I'm like, well, then we won't go to the gym. Let's go outside. Like, there's nothing I like better than going out and hiking in the woods. I'm like, well, then do that because you're getting the instant gratification of getting out in nature and oh, I love being out in the fresh air and oh, it just does me so much good to see this beautiful view as I'm hiking the Rockies and stuff. Good instant gratification. We want that. We want things that make us feel good now.
Mm.
We want things that give us some sort of benefit in some way, shape, and form today. So that way we have the motivation to stick with the habits on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, the long-term stuff that we want, building muscle, losing weight and stuff, great, good. But if you're basing things solely on long-term gratification and the instant gratification is lacking, you're probably not going to be motivated to stick to it. And you can tell yourself it'll be worth it down the road, it'll be worth it 10 years from now or whatever. That's great, but it also needs to be worth it today.
Mm.
It needs to be worth it now. Because if you can get that instant gratification that's in alignment with your long term goals, then you're unstoppable
Yeah.
because you're getting that perceived benefit much higher on a daily, weekly, monthly, and annual basis.
Hmm. So, do you also use instant gratification as a strategy for example, not eating as strictly? So, allowing yourself to have pizza once a week, for example, so you have these small instant gratifications while also the rest of the week working on your long-term goals, for example.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, again, it comes down to benefits and perceived rewards and stuff. And so, this kind of goes along with when you were saying earlier, like some people that just don't seem to have a motivation to do things. Well, in that regard, I'll look at a couple things. One is the methods that they're using. Like they could have a lot of motivation to eat better, but if they don't like the diet they're on, like, oh, I can't stand eating broccoli one more day. It's
Mm.
like, okay, so the method is not in alignment with your preferences and your resources and stuff. Well, the good news is there's a million ways you can achieve everything in fitness. There's no good reason to force yourself to stick to any one thing that you just don't like doing. I would say it's like going to an all you can eat buffet. Like in Vegas, you've got this massive buffet. You're like, I need a good protein hit after my workout. And I hate seafood. So I'm going to eat nothing but crab legs and salmon and scallops and be like, why? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's got protein. I'm like, so does a million other things. Why are you forcing yourself to do this one thing you hate doing? I've got a million ways to burn fat and calories. I got a million ways to build muscle. If there's this one thing that you just don't like doing for whatever reason, stop doing that thing.
Mm.
But if you're like, but I'd much rather do this other thing, well, then do that instead. So that's one of the big reasons why people lose the drive to do things is they're just working with methods that are not a good fit for them.